10 million euros for 50 days in prison in the company of the opposite sex but no access to electronic devices. Is that a challenge you want to take on? It's an immaculate room. There's nothing but a bed, nutrient solution is ration every day. You don't even know if it's day or night outside. Jack was lucky to take on this challenge. He assigned a strange woman the first day. They were curious. He pressed the button and the challenge began. A voiceover announces the contents of the challenge. Each of them will receive 10 million euros if the challenge is successful, but if one of them leaves early, the reward will be 1 million euros. As these words are spoken, the challenge officially begins. They both lie on the floor, excited, fantasizing about a life of riches. But
I'm gonna smoke a fat blunt with Elon Musk as we take his little rocket ship deep into space. And I'm gonna do it all twice.
After a brief moment of excitement, the room fell silent. Boredom drove them to explore. It's a bathroom, but only one person is allowed in at a time, so they can't shower together. After exploring, that's all there is to this room. The light goes off automatically at 1:0 p.m. They had to sleep together because the floor was too cold. At 7 a.m., they were awakened by the alarm clock. The same food as yesterday was delivered. They ate and started talking. They talked about everything they could talk about, but only a few hours passed. By noon, the man is bored. The woman passes the time by meditating, but the man is bored to death. It's only the first day. The woman has had to play clapping games with him. They've developed a routine, chatting in the morning and playing a few games in the afternoon. Sometimes they even get a little exercise. It makes life at least satisfying, but the fulfillment was only fake. After half a month, they were both so tired of each other that they didn't even want to talk to each other. Until one day, when the woman's comforting words made the man's heart skip a beat. 50 days with a stranger of the opposite sex. You'll receive 10 million euros. That night, the man was at the woman's side. The woman is happy inside. She pretends to ignore him, but is ready to undress. The next day, they're confirmed as boyfriend and girlfriend. Even a good relationship can't survive being together all day. After 10 days, the novelty of love has worn off. They missed each other again, unexpectedly. The man found a small insect that day. Although it's only a small change, the man is really happy. He finally found something to do, so he fed the insect a nutrient solution. But it was warned by the voice of the program. It was stipulated that the nutrient solution could only be eaten by the challenger. Otherwise, it would be considered a forfeit. The man wanted the worms to survive and tried to open the door. The woman immediately opposed him because to open the door, they have to press the exit button. Their 10 days of perseverance would have been in vain. During the argument, the woman accidentally stepped on the insect. It's all over now. They're no longer communicating with each other, but they wouldn't have thought it was a plot by the organizers. The aim is to create conflict between the two. Then they proposed a new service. It is possible to advance 1 million euros to buy a blind box. The man couldn't wait to rush in. He buys a blind box and gives it to a pencil. He's so happy. He starts scribbling on the wall. One pencil soon runs out. The man goes back to bed. That day, the lights in the room suddenly go out and the projector comes on. The projector turns on and a video call is made. The first person to call was the man's ex-girlfriend. He listens with pleasure as she expresses her desire for him, but the woman is angry. The video cuts to the next caller and an old man with white hair appears. He's the woman's former father, but he abandoned her and her mother when she was very young. So this man has always broken her heart. The woman is devastated. She collapses on the bed and refuses to get up. The atmosphere has become even more boring. The man had to go and smoke the blind box again. A man buys a blind box and acquires a beautiful woman. He wanted to do something to the model. At this point, his girlfriend came out from inside. She was furious to see this. Under threat from his girlfriend, the man could only give the beautiful woman his clothes. Seeing that the atmosphere was very tense, the man comforted his girlfriend. When it was time to go to bed, all three slept in the same bed. The next morning, the model didn't leave. She woke up and chatted happily with the man. The woman went to open a blind box. She thought she'd find a handsome man. Instead, a hallucinogenic pill popped out of the box. She shared it with the other two. The world began to look different to the three of them, but the man soon collapsed. In his hallucination, he saw his brother drown as a child. It took the woman a long time to bring him back to his senses. The man is devastated by the experience. He wants to leave this place. That's all for today. The next morning, the woman wakes up to find that the beautiful woman has left. She was very happy, but a small line left by the model made her lose her mind. Her face frowsy. You were wonderful last night. It's been a long time since I met such a fine man. Despite the man's efforts to explain, it was a diversionary tactic on the part of the organizers, and he couldn't explain it at the moment. In the heat of the moment, the woman pushed him to the ground. The man cracked his head on the spot. They need a doctor urgently. The woman still wouldn't open the door and leave. The man had to prepare himself to push the big red button, but as soon as he turns around, the woman grabs the gun that came out of the blind box.
Wrong! You're wrong, Michael!
After the man left, the voice announcement was broadcast. The reward is only 1 million euros. The woman collapses to the floor in agony. After the man's departure, the The room became a place of detention. Since that day, the woman has been a zombie. It was the last 2 days. A voice in her mind was driving her mad. Finally, she ran to the button and pressed it. A few months later, a man is exercising. Instead, he met the woman in a retirement home. The 2 men sincerely apologized to each other. It turns out that the woman ended up with €1,000,000, but she used the money to build a retirement home. And by the end of the story, they were back together.